The animal kingdom. It's survival of the fittest. Predators lurk around every corner, and if you don't keep your wits about you, your life could end in the blink of an eye. Of course, us humans like to think that we're insulated from the dangers of becoming just another victim. We live indoors, have access to healthcare, and live in a fairly civilized environment. However, many people still meet their demise as the result of another species. It's because of this that we shall look at 5 of the deadliest animals, and if you're not careful, perhaps you could become just another statistic. Number 5 on this list, the freshwater snail. Seeing this creature probably wouldn't cause you to scream in terror, but it should, because freshwater snails are responsible for 20,000 human deaths per year. The reason for this is because they are carriers of a parasitic disease known as schistosomiasis, and for a freshwater snail to pass this on to a human, they do not even need to make direct contact with you. Simply being in the same water as this snail is enough to catch this deadly disease. This is because the parasite leaves the snail first and enters the water, where it will then seek a human. The tiny parasitic worms will then burrow through the skin. Once they have entered the body, they will lay eggs, something which can happen repeatedly over several years. If just the thought of these worms inhabiting your body isn't scary enough, this is what causes the disease schistosomiasis. Some people can have the disease and not experience any symptoms for months, or even years. Although schistosomiasis is treatable, left for too long, it can cause damage to the heart, the lungs, and even the brain. And it still causes 20,000 deaths per year. Although the snail isn't a deadly predator, it is the reason that this parasite ends up infecting humans, and it's because of this that the freshwater snail ranks number 5 on this list. The next entry on this list may surprise you. Many of you may share your home with this creature. Some of you may currently be in the presence of one at this very moment, because number 4 on this list is dogs. Although they are known as man's best friend, dogs are the cause of 30,000 human deaths each year, and although dogs attacking humans does contribute to this number, the majority of people killed by dogs are killed after contracting rabies from them. According to the World Health Organization, in up to 99% of cases, domestic dogs are responsible for rabies virus transmission to humans. The virus can be passed to humans after being bitten or scratched by dogs infected with rabies. It can also be passed on if the saliva of an infected animal comes into contact with a person's eyes, nose, or mouth. After contracting rabies, symptoms usually take a while to begin. When they do start, you may suffer symptoms similar to the flu, such as nausea, fever, headaches, and vomiting. As it progresses, the infected person can experience hallucinations, confusion, frothing at the mouth, breathing and swallowing difficulties, muscle spasms, and even full body paralysis. The scariest thing about rabies is that once symptoms start, it is too late to treat the illness. At this stage, all that medical professionals can do is try to make the infected person as comfortable as possible until they pass away. It is important to point out that although dogs account for most cases in humans, there are several other animals who can spread rabies to humans. And although rabies is fatal once symptoms start, if you seek medical advice after exposure, the disease can usually be held at bay with a vaccine or other medical treatments. So if you are ever bitten, scratched, or licked by an animal that may potentially have this disease, it's always best to seek medical treatment. Because of this potentially fatal disease being passed on by dogs in nearly every case, man's best friend has to be number 4 on this list. Number 3 on this list, we have snakes. Perhaps a less surprising entry on this list. Snakes have 2 methods that they use to kill their prey. The first is by constricting. This means that the snake will grip its prey with its mouth by biting, wrap itself around the body of its prey, and squeeze. This makes breathing impossible and can cause the blood flow to the body's organs to become completely cut off. It is also believed that the force from this can result in immediate cardiac arrest. Although this method is very effective, it isn't what contributes to the majority of human deaths by snakes. Human deaths from snake attacks are most common after being bitten by a venomous snake. Venomous snakes have hollow fangs. When they bite, the muscles in their head press onto their venom glands. This sends the venom through the hollow part of their fangs, and if they have pierced the skin, this means that the venom enters the body of their prey. There are 3 different types of snake venom, which have different effects on the body. The first is neurotoxic venom. It is named this as it attacks the nervous system. If a snake injects you with this venom, one of the effects is paralysis of the muscles, which are required for breathing, meaning that the person is unable to breathe. The second is cytotoxic venom, which causes necrosis of the tissue, meaning that the part of the body effectively dies, usually starting from the site of the bite and spreads throughout the body. This can result in a dead tissue requiring amputation to prevent the spread. The final type is hemotoxic venom. This type of venom affects the blood. Once the venom enters the bloodstream, it can disrupt kidney function and cause heart failure. If you are ever bitten by a venomous snake, it is important that you get immediate medical treatment, as antivenoms do exist. However, your odds of survival decrease the longer your bite goes untreated, which is why it is vital that you seek treatment as soon as possible. Although medical treatment does exist, snakes are responsible for 100,000 human deaths per year, which is enough to put them at number 3 on this list. And now moving on to number 2 on this list, we have mosquitoes. Mosquitoes may at first glance appear to be nothing more than an annoying little pest, but these creatures are responsible for 1 million human deaths per year. The reason for this is that they are the carrier of several diseases, including malaria, dengue virus, Zika, and the West Nile virus. When mosquitoes bite, they feed on the blood. This means that if a human or an animal they bite is carrying any diseases, the mosquito catches the disease and infects humans that they bite after becoming infected. Although the figure I found for deaths per year was 1 million, there is no way of knowing the exact number, and many scientists suspect that the true number may be much higher, which is why mosquitoes rank at number 2 on this list. And finally, here we are. The animal that is responsible for the highest number of human deaths is humans. That's right. More people are killed by humans than any other animal. And when you think about it, it isn't that surprising. Let's just look at the figures. There are approximately 400,000 deaths per year caused by humans killing other humans. Plus, if you include diseases which humans pass on to other humans, the number becomes almost impossible to calculate. If we are only going to include coronavirus, in June of 2021, there was close to 2 million deaths from coronavirus, and this was only halfway through the year. Bear in mind that there are also other deadly diseases that humans pass on to each other, such as flu and HIV. After these, we have to also include conflicts and war in this as well. Although it isn't possible for me to give an exact figure, with all these factors added in, it's easy to see why humans are at the top of this list. So, what have we learned today? Well, we have learned that although goldfish might not be the most exciting of pets, they will not give you rabies. We have also learnt that snails are not as harmless as we first thought. But the biggest thing we have learned today is that the next time you see a spider, don't be scared of it. Instead, worry about the person with you, because they are more likely to cause your demise. That concludes this video. Thank you all so very much for watching.